Yes, dude, Jeff Dunham. When was the last time you saw anything from him?
Jeff Papa. Dunham.com.
Kill you.
That was a very well timed I'll kill you.
I'm actually interested. Warren's favorite sound effect.
I love that one. It's almost as good as... That's the only two I remember, other than the intro.
I'm going to have to cue that sound effect for the amount of watching I've been doing.
Really? Was it that anticlimactic?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Haven't had that time to binge stuff. Lots that I want to watch that's on the list or whatever, but...
It's good to have dreams and goals.
What's been keeping you busy though, dude?
I actually did get to watch a few things, but one thing that's been keeping me busy is this flipping fucking stupid... It's called Marvel Collect. Try to get that on there. Oh, hello. And we'll get it on the GoPro too. It's called Marvel Collect by Topps. And Topps is one of the old school card collecting companies. There was them, Skybox, and then later on came Flair/Fleer. And it's kind of cool, man. It's so the basic idea is you're collecting trading cards. And every day they give you a whole assortment of free cards and coins that you can buy, more packs of cards. And you're always hoping to get something like this one, which is a more limited
Let's get it on the
card version. And what they've done is there's some original art. There's some classic covers in here. If you tap it, it flips the card around so you get it back to. You can get information on your card. Is it rare, super rare, whatever the case is. And they're just doing various sets like Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man's quite a popular one. I mean, I got this one this morning, this new cool retro-y Iron Man, nice. Avengers kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm semi-hooked. I've got a couple mates that are with me playing on this thing. And, yeah, they do it similar to the card game world. You get base sets, then you get the rares on top of, and then you get rares in one format, and then the super rares, which are pretty much the rares, but hollow foily or rainbow color-y, whatever the case might be. There's actually a cool one that I'm going to show you, some that I got in here they're kind of like sketch variants. So nice. As you do something with it, it sketches or comes to life. So I think this one is one of those. I don't know if it does anything. And, oh, yes, as you turn...
okay, I can... Yeah, it is coming out. Cool.
Nifty, hey?
Yeah, wow.
And then there's this one over here. Similar kind of idea. Hey, show me my cap. Don't mess with me. Yeah. So the same thing happens with the cap. And
I won't lie, I'm not seeing anything.
Hang on. Oh, wait.
Oh, there it did something.
There he is. And then he goes to color. So... Yeah, and as you tilt it or whatever, it's supposed to do that. So that, I think, is very cool. Something that you can't get if you had a physical card, unless it was hologrammed or something. Then as you were tilting it, you'd get the hologram doing something. Similar kind of effect, but digitally it works.
And it's interesting you say that, dude, because on our previous video, we chatted about, the digital disruption and how they're saying how sales are doing much better. And because it's a generational thing. And I'm interested to see if card collecting will become full-time eventually.
Yeah.
Like, when we all buried and gone, will it just be like digital cards that are holograms? I've got this and trade it to you.
Yeah, man. I really don't know. I've seen that there's different versions. There's a Star Wars version. There's a Disney version where you're getting all the various characters. Some of them are snippets out of the movies. Some are original art that guys have put together. What I'm liking about it is... Initially, it was almost questy for me, appealed to the collector in me. So I was on a quest to complete certain sets. And to their credit, they even give you starter sets. So you get a couple sets that have like 5 cards in them that you have to get. And as you're opening those packs, you're guaranteed to get at least one of those cards. And you just open up until you get all 5. When you get all 5 and you complete the set, you get a rare trophy card that you can only get by completing a set.
Okay.
So they give you these starter sets to help you build up some cool complete sets with a trophy card or two, so you kind of get the idea and the concept. And as new sets come out, you can either go down the road of collecting them or not, if it appeals to you or doesn't.
Okay.
The other cool thing about it is you can trade. So there's a full trade mechanism in there, and you trade with guys locally, overseas, whatever it is. The overseas trading eats into your sleep time because America comes online when we're going to bed.
Yeah, can imagine.
So there's a bit of that going on there. But my questing phase got me to a point where I'd completed all of these basic base sets and a few other sets that I found. Now that I've completed them, it's almost like in like achievement unlocked, platinum trophy. And I'm like, And now I'm on a thing of, I've got a couple, I suppose, decent rare cards, but they don't appeal to me.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now is I'm looking around at what other guys have, and if they've got a rare card that I like, Wolverine, Thanos, Deadpool, whatever, character that appeals to me, or the art, it's like, oh, I remember that comic. That was an amazing cover. And they've got Alex Ross covers in there. They've got Joe Jusko ones. They've got all of them in there. So when I see certain ones, I'm like, oh, I want that. I will give up one of my rare cards that I have no real attachment to in the hopes that I can get other rares that do appeal to me. So I'm liking that angle of it. And I'll be honest, dude, the first couple days of playing this, every hour on the hour, I was on my phone and I was collecting coins and I was getting my new cards. And then I'd like put it down for a second or two and go, oh, wait, maybe I could trade. And I'd start a few trades and I'd put it down. And then I'd like watch 5 minutes of a show and be like, I wonder if anyone accepted my trades. And I was fixated on my phone. It was absolutely atrocious. And then at the end of the days, the other mates of mine that were playing, they would WhatsApp me and go, I have an issue. I have a problem. My wife is properly like wants to leave me because I just don't leave this phone alone. So yeah, we've all gotten there, and slowly as we've completed things, the bug is kind of leveled out. It's not as severe. So we're mellowing out. We're toning it down a bit, and we're all going on this. Yeah, I like this. I don't want to trade that card ever, but I'm happy to get rid of these in the hopes that I can get some more of these other things. So that is very cool. Give it a look. Topps, Marvel Collect. There's Star Wars Collect, Disney Collect, whichever one piques your curiosity. And I think it was smart of them to do the Disney Collect one because they've got a lot of cute looking things in there that could appeal to the more younger girls in the audience. You know, boys will always like heroes, or men, doesn't matter. But yeah, man, and some of the art, great stuff there. So keeping me busy. And what I like about it is the engine gives you that thing that you don't actually have to spend money on it if you don't want to.
A lot of things have gone that way. If you look at even gaming, where I like it but I don't, but there's always a way to earn it, but you can fast track and pay it. So the problem is you get all these little rich kids that are just like all got the coolest mods always, and they didn't do anything for it, and you just like hate you. But but it is cool that you can still get it if you work at it, which is like, don't want to get deep, but it's good principles to install, you know.
Oh dude, and there are some guys where you go there and you see they've got like 50 of a super rare card, and you go, how much did you spend to get to that level? Yeah. One guy I came across, he had a Deadpool avatar. His name was a version of Deadpool, and if you wanted to trade with him, he was like, take whatever you want, just leave Deadpool. So I was like, okay. And as I was going through on the basic base sets, this guy had, I mean, and to give you an idea, everyone I've kind of gone across in the base set region, it's like they've got 20 of this guy, 30 copies of that card, and it hovers in that range, and then it slowly goes down. As you're going down, it's like they've got 5 of this, and then eventually 2 of that, and then 1. This guy, on his base sets, so the base sets, there's a white, there's red, there's blue, there's green, there's black. In every one of those, his number 1 card in there is Deadpool. And in each category, each color band, he has 3,000 plus. And it literally, like, right next to it is 20. And that Deadpool card, it says 3-point-something K of So this guy, I don't know how long he's been playing, but that was his, like, that's his goal. Like, whenever you got Deadpool, I want it. Give it to me.
Jeez.
and he's on this mission to get as many Deadpool cards as he. Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" I screenshot it, I shared it with my mates, and they were like, "So what?" And I said, "No," and I had to resend the picture and highlight in circle like 3.5 thousand cards. They were like, "No." So yeah, I'm not the only one obsessed with it and obsessing about it. So good fun, and that's kept me busy. That being said, I did manage to binge watch the Umbrella Academy season 2.
Nice. Me too, yeah.
And again, you know, I was turned on to the Umbrella Academy, and I think we've spoken about this, by the TV show. Hadn't read it, hadn't gotten into it. I think I might have got the free comic book when it came out. Didn't read it. It just, I don't know, it didn't really appeal to me at that stage. At that stage, I was very much a Marvel boy, and I was just coming into the DC realm. And I was starting to learn about the Lanterns, that whole mythology, getting into Superman, Batman. And at the time, it was just, I don't have time for another universe, another team to invest in. And I purposefully didn't go down that route. And initially, I don't think the art appealed to me. It is very, it has a goth element to it. It's very unique art, and now I've come to appreciate and like it. But back then, I was still very much a Jim Lee-ish.
Okay. Side note, do you still have that free comic of them?
I might. I'll have to rifle through it.
Because you know that's their first official appearance. Yes. And there was like, people were seeing a free comic book.
I know,
it was
right?
going for hundreds of dollars. I was like, what the?
I'll have to check. I might have one sitting in my box of free comics that I've collected. And yeah, I loved the kookiness of season 1. I loved the characters. I liked the damage attached to each of these characters. They were very intriguing and interesting to me. And binge watched season 1 like one Saturday, and then I'm guilty of binge watching season 2 also one full Saturday.
I mean, I think Kira and I got it. Realistically, we got through it like in 2 sittings.
Right.
Like, so I mean, it's easily to believe that you went through one sitting. And interestingly, dude, like when I showed Kira, she was like, oh, okay, cool, let's watch it. And then, you know, it's got the previously in it, and they all, you know, spoiler alerts for anyone, we probably will dive into a bit of it. But, you know, then they appear in different timelines and whatever. And she's like, oh, okay, they're just going to stop the end of the world again. And there's a part of me like, yeah, okay, you're right. But it is that, but it's just so much better.
100%.
And so much more. Like, and the way they keep it captivating. And it's, even though it's kind of the same storyline playing out, because it's always what's her name that
Vanya.
Yeah, Vanya that like loses her shit, you know, like but it's phenomenal, dude. Like
it was. Although this time it wasn't necessarily just Vanya.
Yeah, and no, but I mean on the surface it seemed
totally.
that way. Like,
yeah, no,
always,
100%. And it was literally until the last episode where you go, okay, it's her, but yes and no, you know, there was stuff to it. So yeah, I'm interested to read the second graphic novel now after watching season 2 and just seeing how it compares, similar storylines, story threads carrying through.
Where they're diverted.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the Klaus cult thing was phenomenal, man. Like,
yeah, Klaus, just the Klaus character, I must say.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah, he really does pull it off. He's made it his own. It's a very unique, troubled, damaged character, all wrapped into one.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? I want to give credit to number 5. It is, you know, for like such a young kid to play a kid that's an old person. Like,
yeah, man,
that's a lot of, you know,
and he nails it. Hey,
yeah, can't think of the word, but
he's got a very commanding presence on stage. Like so much so that you totally sold on the fact that he's this leader. Like he barks orders and people fall in line, and you with it. It's like he's kudos to him.
Because that's another like that random like alien conspiracist dude that's like capturing footage on him. They was also it's sad how he dies, but but no, it was still a really cool character.
Yeah, totally, 100%. So I enjoyed it. I really did. It was a good watch. Interesting twists where things are going to go in the third one now. So yeah,
it's interesting you say that, dude, because I was a fan of Jared Way through My Chemical Romance, his music and the heights of emo and screamo and all that. But I'd always heard that he did his own comic thing because he did some of the comic art to his own CD covers and stuff.
Yes.
And Timmy, our buddy, he bought volume 1, I think, and 2 of Umbrella Academy. And like it kind of died from there where like My Chemical Romance kind of like faded away. And I'd always heard of it, and then I got into the whole comic thing and I don't know why. That wasn't the first thing I grabbed. I'd like totally forgotten about it.
You probably had, yeah.
So now it's like, I almost feel like a bit of a traitor to him because I've always been like a fan. So I'm definitely want to get volume 1, 2, and 3. And
I don't think you'll be sorry.
Yeah.
Very nice, entertaining read. Number 1 was for me anyway. And very, very close to the season 1's story. And obviously there's some departure points where you can see they kind of looked at it and they went, well, this is very out there in the comic, visually and conceptually and everything. So let's tweak it slightly to make it more probably... I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. Just more acceptable or digestible.
Yeah, digestible is probably the word.
For an average viewing audience kind of thing. And I get that. I totally get that. And they didn't do it in a way that, for me, detracted from the story in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, keen to see if that flows through the second one too and how the stories intertwine and interlink and all of that stuff. So...
nice.
And if you're on that note, though, dude, you need to read his Doom Patrol.
No, I also have. That's something. The problem is you seeing this. It's like I already can see how it's this dark hole of like, just like. And right now I'm a little bit short on money, so it'll come. But
definitely. Well, maybe we'll try to find you digital copies of it so you can at least look at the Doom Patrol thing. Yeah, because Dave reads it and he raves about it. Like,
nice.
He's read all the original Morrison stuff too, and he's like, it's not Morrison, but it doesn't need to be. It's its own kind of Doom
Patrol.
Patrol.
Kind of genius, yeah.
And it is. According to him, it is exactly that. Its own genius, and he's loving it. So, Gerard Way, he's definitely got the chops, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else that you did get to watch?
You know, like there's one, and I'll just vaguely mention it, because if anyone out there hasn't by now, like you should definitely, they've got 2 YouTube channels. It's Sci-Fi and Sci-Fi Wire or something like that.
That's it, yes.
And they each got their own sort of comic stuff. And this one dude goes through sort of the history of Justice League animated and stuff that you didn't know. And how they started and why they like cycled out characters. Like I think took Martian Manhunter out and put Hawkgirl in. And
yes.
And if you haven't seen that, like I'd really recommend it. It's really cool. You know, the guy presenting it does talk to his own sort of experiences and how, which is fine. You know, I was happy with that, but I was more intrigued in the actual history and how you know they rebooted things and did things and how certain characters became more popular. And
for me, that show was great. Season 1, season 2, and when it became unlimited, and they just opened the book and just said, every DC character at some point is going to be in the show, in the league, interacting. That blew me away. I fell in love with so many DC characters when that happened.
Yeah.
And we've spoken about it. Like, I would not be even remotely interested in the question had it not been for the Unlimited TV show and how they did the whole Vic Sage thing, intertwining him with Huntress a lot. And very cool. Yeah. Love that.
So yeah, that is, I watched that pretty recently, and I did share it on our Facebook page if anyone wants to check it out. And then a super random thing I watched was on Netflix is this, believe it or not, Zak Efron show. And I think a few people have checked it out, but it's called Down to Earth, and it's like this whole other side to him because, you know, everyone knows Mr. Baywatch, Ripped or whatever, and he's a little bit more chunky now, and he's like got baggy clothes on, and it's a really, I hate to say, down to earth sort of show. It's like very casual.
So very aptly named.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I don't want to go and jump on this bandwagon, but they basically look at like alternative lifestyles and how people have lived, and like, you know, Iceland is a perfect thing where they run purely on like renewable energy, 100%.
Wow.
And they show like these things where they take like bread and they do the bats and stuff. And they literally they dig up the black sand because it's, you know, it's always bubbling under it because they got such volcanic things.
Yes.
Dude, they put it in there for a day and you take it out and it's cooked bread. That's how boiling it is.
Wow.
And they like cook eggs there and they do the most random stuff. And it's got to do with all those traditions and stuff. And they go to different countries. And there's this one, I can't remember where it is, dude.
Does it tie in with the Eurovision movie as well? Yeah, play ya ding dong.
It doesn't. But I'm surprised it doesn't.
That's what I would do. I'd just shout at Zak Efron, play ya ding dong.
But they've got a lot of like it's still a lot of random funny humor. But the one thing that blew me away, you can understand why now. Those people don't know. I'm obsessed with potato. Dude, I can't remember which country it is, but they have like this plant, not a plant, as in like a scientific, and they've got all these strains locked away in freezers of every strain of potato, and there's thousands of thousands, and to the point, because of all the deforestation that's going on and stuff, they can, if something, like the way I understood it, I could be wrong and stood to correction, but if something gets wiped out tomorrow, they can go repopulate it with those strains. That's how they've backed up. Because apparently potato has so much, it gets a bad name, but it's got, that's the kind of food that can feed like poverty-stricken nations. And
it was like Russia's #1 food thing for, if it still isn't that, because I mean, they get vodka from there, all of that stuff. So potato, 100%, I can believe it.
And I don't know if we've finished watching it now. I don't think we have yet. And it does, like, it starts off funny, and then Zach always has this, like, save the world message towards the end with, like, inspirational music, which is a bit cheesy. But the concepts, it's like, it's still cool, man. It's still, I was quite surprised. And there's a few gimmicky things that they do. They go to, like, this LA place and taste different kinds of water. And Anna Kendrick just happens to be there with them,
course,
like, just casually, so, but like for the most part, it does seem, like the show seems true to its. They even talk to this one guy in Paris where they talk about miracles and how miracles can be distinguished from like health things, and there's these certain strict things. And I don't know how real it is, but they're talking to this one staunch French guy, and he gets up and leaves the interview because they think it's just, they're trying to be like Instagram, hashtag, Zak Efron, the model is here, kind of, and they have to sit down and explain, no, they're just trying to get the word out there. There's an authentic vibe to the show. And after they talk him down, he kind of sits through the interview and speaks to them about it. And
interesting. Wow.
So yeah, it's got like a lot of cool, strange elements that you wouldn't expect, which I find quite interesting about the show. It does seem quite holistic. I don't know if that's the right word. I hope he really means everything he's doing, but yeah.
Yeah, no, one would definitely, if that's the angle you're taking, one would hope that there is sincerity and a sense of genuine authenticity to it.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Other than that, dude, like I said, I've got a list. Kieran, I've also been watching, is it Dark?
I think it's called that.
Yeah, and it is, you can, for those of you who don't know, this is a huge deal. In Netflix, if you go into the subtitle options, you can actually change it to dub, which obviously there's no lip sync, but at least you're hearing everything in English.
Correct. Yeah.
And yeah, dude, that show is like mental on so many notes. That's like, have you watched any of it?
No, I have not.
Dude, it's typical of that. Like, it takes you a while to get used to like the dubbing and the style of the show, but it's one of those, like, it's time, I love like time travel. And it's just like the one thing that just like keeps bending on itself. And every time you think the theory's right, then it like bends on itself again. And this person's actually her same mother and her same daughter because she got trapped in different timelines. And it's just like, you sit there and you, like, they even got to help you. Like, they split the screen and this is the older version, this is the younger version. You're like, okay, I was right. Those characters are those characters, because it's so hard to keep up with. But really good series, dude. I must say, like, I think we almost in season 3 now. I would recommend it if anyone can get past that. Like, I hate watching other language stuff with subtitles. But the dub, I can get used to it. So at least that's like...
I'm like you. I have a whole circle of friends in the anime community, and a lot of them are purists around. We want original Japanese voices, and we'll read the subtitles. I'm like, no, hell no. Give me dub. And it takes me all the way back to when I used to watch some of the old classic kung fu movies. And it was definitely one of those, you will now face me in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I used to just like love that, And as a kid, you didn't quite get it. Like, what is going on? And then eventually an adult explained it to me. Like, okay. And I love the cheese element about it. So I'm not bothered by dubbing, and even if poor dubbing, I'm still okay with it. It doesn't faze me.
And then I think, there's one thing that's on both our lists is it came on yesterday for us, which is Lucifer.
Yes, it's season 5, I think, now.
Yeah, so we'll probably do that in 1 sitting, 2 sittings max, done.
Especially now that it's shorter. I think it's 8 to 10 episodes.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they've shortened it. So where before it was very episodic, i.e., him and Chloe will solve some kind of murder thing, blah, blah. The focus isn't so much on that, solving
sort
murders
of day-to-day sort of,
It's more character-driven now, and developing the characters, and the crimes and what they're doing is more
linked to the big story. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's not as integral now as the actual character development and what's happening to them.
Interesting.
Yeah, took a shift like that, which I'm in favor for actually.
I don't mind both as long as they're just executed well. So because I mean I go back to a show just so old now, probably still my favorite show to this day, non-superhero related, is The Mentalist.
Oh yeah,
with Patrick Jane, and I liked it did fall a bit short towards the end because you can tell they were trying to rush and finish it. But I loved the day-to-day crimes. But then there was always an overarching,
thing with
story.
Red John,
with Red John,
yeah.
Or it was other things sometimes. But yeah, so I loved the day-to-day crime, and every now and then the day-to-day crime would link in.
Correct. Yes,
but not always. And I liked that. I liked that.
Agreed. Yeah, and they did a good writing team to develop each of the various characters, team members, as the show went on, and certain side romances forming, etc., etc. Rigsby having a crush on Van Pelt, and that slowly developing, and Cho's character, how he eventually moved on and led his own team and stuff. So yeah, I agree. Really enjoyed that. One thing that I had watched, new one that's out, is called Star Trek Lower Decks.
Okay.
For any of the Star Trek fans out there, I definitely recommend they pick it up because it's Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek. It's a comedy. It's an animated comedy, and it's purely all about, like, in all the Star Treks, whether it's original series, next gen, etc. It's all about that bridge crew and what happens on the bridge, the captains and the first officers and their interactions and all this. And yes, there is a captain and a first officer, but they are, if they're in an episode, it's rare. It's all about the lower crew, the guys that are working in engineering or in the med labs or doing whatever. And this little group of them form like a circle friendship, and the adventures they go on away missions and all of that. And it's comical. It's absolutely funny.
Nice.
And all animated, so it does lend itself to that. They can get a bit more creative and elaborate with some of the alien species. The antics that they get up to definitely works better in animation than it does probably in live action, so to speak. But short 20-30 minute episodes, hysterical each one. It's kind of in the middle of like a grounded animated show and Rick and Morty.
Okay,
so it's not as out there as Rick and Morty, but it does have similar humorous elements to the Rick and Morty thing. So I think if anyone's a Rick and Morty fan, they'd probably take to it quite nicely.
I must check it out.
Very, very cool.
Because I've never been the biggest track fan.
Right.
But I don't love or hate it. I just, it's awesome. But I'm not like fucking die hard,
I love it. Vulcan.
I'll check it out.
Nice. I don't think you'll be disappointed.